The world seems pretty bleak right now. We're watching people being killed by the thousands in Gaza, rockets raining down on them, children being blown into bits, starving people being forced to walk long distances to unknown destinations with their hands up in the air in surrender. And yet it doesn't seem like our political leaders care. They seem unwilling to see people in Gaza as human beings. Despite all our calls and pleas, all the protests and letters and media appeals, people are suffering miserably as we watch helplessly. It's tempting to give up, to throw up our hands in despair. But don't give in to that feeling, because you can do something. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if you are planting a tree and the world is going to end, finish planting that tree. In the best of times, when you plant a tree, you don't know what will happen. Planting a tree is an act of hope, an intention to do good and release it into the world. You have no idea if it will reach full height. In fact, you may not even live to see it reach full height, even if it does. You're not sure it will bear fruit. You're not sure if it will be destroyed by the winds. Maybe other people will see that you planted a tree, and they too will plant trees, and there will be a forest there one day. But maybe not. Maybe someone will come by and chop down your tree. It's the same thing with working towards change. You don't know the outcome, and it can seem pointless to fight the status quo, but do it anyway because it's right and it's good. Think about that saying of the Prophet Muhammad. Planting a tree on the Day of Judgment seems pointless. Most people would just give up and wait for the inevitable. But in Islam, we are rewarded for our intentions, and we're told to do good despite the consequences or circumstances. Believe it or not, small incremental actions matter. Even when the consequences aren't clear, you might fail in your immediate objective. You might be unable to stop the massacres that are happening right before your eyes. You may be unable to convince public officials that they should care about the marginalized and vulnerable, that they should recognize Palestinians as human beings, worthy of living. But you may change something else. Maybe your efforts will make someone out there stop and think. Maybe it'll make more than one person stop and think. Maybe they won't change their actions immediately, but 10 years from now, they'll realize they're wrong because your example made them take notice, because you put a grain of an idea in their head that grew and grew and grew to the point that it now affects their whole way of thinking. Think about things that have happened in the past, how long it has taken to get to where it is. Think about the slave trade, the right to vote. It wasn't a straight line of progress. It didn't just take one single action. It was a long, winding path with twists and turns and failures built one upon the other. People and institutions refuse things over and over until they eventually accept them. Or the opposite. They accept things as normal and good until it reaches a point where they can't anymore. It becomes clear that they're wrong. So be patient, believe in your power and impact, keep doing the good you're doing, and don't give up.